Today's Tuesday, January the 10th. I call this meeting to order for the Administrative Committee meeting. Item 2.1, review and discussion of revisions to the 2022-2023 compensation plan. Ms. Servillon.
Yes, so we have Mr. Gallegos that is going to go ahead and present the compensation plan update. Mr. Gallegos?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, Board President Moreno, members of the board, and Ms. Servillon, Superintendent. So before you are a couple of changes to the compensation plan, the 22-23 compensation plan. The first revision is we are making a title change to the position of specialist, social media / public information. So the title now is going to be, if approved, it's going to be specialist, social media / communications. Right now, that position is currently vacant, so this is the time that we can make the change to the position, to the job description, the title, so that it aligns the duties and responsibilities correctly. Any
Questions or concerns, board members?
The second change is we are adding a stipend. For, it's called the coordinator stipend for the Growing Up Here program for the Sullivan Environmental Science Academy. They actually had a grant last year, and they actually implemented all the requirements of the grant last year. What this grant does is, the purpose of the grant is to educate students and parents about the benefits of healthy eating by exposing the students to grow their own vegetables, like Ms. Atkinson was talking to you all about, reducing obesity, decrease sugar intake or consumption, and increase the knowledge about nutrition to the parents and the students. The program is for students for grades 3rd to 5th grade, and the stipend amount is $5,000 for those teachers that mentor those students.
It's a 5,000 annual, but it's a 5,000 grant for, like, if there's 2 teachers, they all get 2,500 each, or each teacher will get, or each person will get 5,000.
So right now, that grant started actually last year. We already got the payment for 4 teachers. It was supposed to be 4 teachers, but one of them decided not to participate last minute, so Ms. Atkinson couldn't find anybody to replace that teacher. So one teacher is getting 2 stipends, which will be $10,000, and then the other 2 will be receiving $5,000 each.
Oh,
So it's per teacher?
Yes, sir.
5,000 per teacher?
Yes. Per semester.
And the one receiving 2 stipends is because they're doing additional, they took up the
The
duties
position.
of the other person that was getting that $5,000 stipend that vacated those duties. So she's having to do additional work.
Yes.
But you just mentioned, Mr. Gallegos, per semester. Is it per semester or for the year? Is
It was,
'cause-
according to what I read on the grant here, it says that it's per semester.
So, but here on the compensation plan, though, under Growing Up Program Volunteer, you have $5,000
It's for the
annually.
Annual,
It
okay.
is for the year.
So,
It is for the
yeah, because then if it's per semester, that's
see.
$10,000 stipend.
It
So I
is,
think it's annual,
Yeah, it should be
It's
annual.
annual.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
and it is a grant that they applied for.
Yes. And like I said, this actually started last year, but we didn't have the grant requirements. So we actually got the payments this past, how do we go? July or August. So the teachers have been waiting for payment, but because we didn't have the grant or any other requirements, so we can post it on the compensation plan, we're finally bringing that up to you all so that you can review and approve so that we can make those payments possible.
I got a question for you. As far as the additional duties for, I mean, ain't that a little too much work for someone?
What do you mean,
I mean,
additional
like,
duties?
Yeah, double duties, like they're gonna get double stipend. Don't you think it would be fair? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not the coordinator, but you don't think it'll be fair if they could split between the 4 teachers that are there and they can all divide that money?
So
the
this-
extra?
I'm sorry. So this happened last year. So the teacher that was supposed to, there were supposed to be 4 teachers.
Okay.
One of them opted out last minute, so Ms. Atkinson couldn't find anybody to replace that person. So that's why they had a teacher doing double roles, her role, and then the vacancy that was left. So that's why she's getting $10,000 because she was the one who actually took that position.
Yes, sir, but what I'm asking is to make it fair or not to give somebody I mean, you're gonna give somebody a $5,000 bonus or whatever they're gonna wanna do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But to be fair across the board, to split it up amongst them 3.
Yes.
You know, divide the
So
5
I'm
so
not-
they can all split up the work.
Yes, so I need to ask Ms. Atkinson who's going to be participating this school year. But the fair thing, like you said, would be to have actually 4 teachers, and then each would be receiving $5,000 each.
Well, if we have the 4th, but we don't have the
Yes.
4th right now. So
Yeah.
in other words, since they're part of that little cohort there of 4, they're gonna receive this. I mean, why don't you just split the
Yeah.
work? In other words,
Or
you
she
want-
can find a replacement for
Yes.
that vacant position.
I'm just asking, I don't know if it can be
Yeah.
done. I'm just.
Yes, yes,
Well,
sir.
I
Okay.
guess because I see overlap in stipends all the time. I mean, a perfect example are coaching stipends. we have like sometimes a coach receiving 2 stipends at the same time. So, I mean, if she's evaluated the work and depends on this person to complete the work, because the grant will be very deliberate and delineate specifically what has to be covered. If not, we don't get the grant.
We don't know, like, say that of the volunteers, there's 4 of them, and they each do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and because one of them is out, someone does Monday and Thursday. Like, if that's the case, then that makes sense, but if, like, all 3 of them are kind of taking the role of that one person.
Yeah. The way I understand the grant is that it's an extra group of students, I'm sorry. An
Yes.
extra group of students. So she must be doing kind of what you're saying, where she's working with a group at one time and working with a group at another time.
Because
But we
this-
can get it more specific.
Yeah, and this covers, like I said, grades 3rd to 5th grade. And it's supposed to be for the spring semester, like 1 hour twice a week for 10 weeks. And that's where, like I said, they show the students how to learn, grow, and eat, and go. That's the slogan of the grant. It's supposed to be 20 hours of contact time per youth or
Yeah,
student.
I mean, I don't question it, we just need to be more diligent that it's
Done.
being done correctly and fairly across the board.
Yeah, so I'll ask Ms. Atkinson to see if she found a replacement for that vacant spot.
Any other questions or concerns? Okay, agenda item, compensation plan agenda item. Item 2.2, review and discussion of agreement between San Benito CISD and the University of Texas RGV Teacher Preparation Program, Education Experience.
So before you is an agreement between UTRGV Teacher Preparation Program and San Benito CISD. So this will allow a university student to come to a designated campus in San Benito CISD and complete their student teaching internship for graduation purposes. Students will gain first-hand experience on what it is like to be a teacher by working directly with a teacher or a group of teachers and create lesson plans, teach our students, and be involved in academic activities as it corresponds to their teaching field.
Any questions or concerns? Agenda item. Item 2.3, review and discussion of agreement between San Benito CISD and the University of Texas RGV Principal Certification Preparation Program.
This is similar to the one that we just, the one that I just talked about, but this is for a principal position. This is an agreement between San Benito CISD and UTRGV Principal Preparation Program. The purpose of this program is to allow a student, which is most commonly, more often than not, a teacher or like a strategist or an instructional coach, somebody who wants to be a principal, that it's in the principal program to be mentored by a principal. So what they do is they do observation hours with the principal. They also directly shadow a principal to make sure that they understand the duties and responsibilities associated with that position as a leader, a campus leader. And the principal will be overshadowing and obviously mentoring that student. Like I said, more often than not, that student is a teacher, it's a counselor, a strategist, or a coordinator, somebody who's willing to become a principal, and it's in the program.
Any questions or concerns? Agenda item. Item 2.4, review and discussion of agreement between San Benito CISD and Walden University Licensure Program Students Teaching.
This is like the one that we just talked about for the teaching students with UTRGV. This is an agreement between San Benito CISD and Walden University. It's the same. It's an agreement that allows a student to come into our facilities to a designated campus in which the student will be mentored by a teacher. They're going to be able to teach our students. They're going to be shadowing a teacher, and also they're going to be working with a group of teachers in reference to their assigned grade level or subject. We currently have one, or I think it's one student in this program.
Any questions or concerns? Agenda item.
Okay.
Yes, Ms.
I'd like to make a clarification. Obviously, Mrs. Atkinson is watching the board meeting. So she sent me the clarification for the stipend. She says the $5,000 is annually, and that one person has been owed the money since 2019, so she is receiving 2 years. And the other 2 are getting the stipend for 1 year each.
Okay.
So that's why one is getting the 10,000. But they have been waiting since 2019. Like you said, we just got the grant money rolled into our budget.
Yes.
And we
good.
appreciate those
Yeah.
individuals that have been in those positions without truly volunteer positions.
Because they've been
as
waiting
of
for
now.
payment, so now that we have the grant and that we can talk to you all about it and put it in the compensation plan, that we can actually expect and pay them this January if approved.
I do want to thank Ms. Atkinson for the clarification.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gallegos. Item 3.1, committee concerns, board members? Okay. I adjourn this meeting at 8:26 PM.